Hi guys, it's Rich from the podcast here. Welcome back to part 2 of the 1983 episode. Enjoy, my friends.
I'm so close to shitting myself. Hey Space Cadets and Airheads, welcome to Season 3 of Not 40 Just Blank. It's a radical and righteous podcast in which each episode we take you back to the bodacious 1980s, looking back at news, TV, sports, film and music of a single year of that bitchin' decade. It sounds mega. So come and join us on our latest gnarly journey, dudes, as we head back to the 80s, the decade that fashion forgot, right here on Not 40 Just Blank. Right, chaps, we're going to bust through the music of 1983 now. Same format, top threes, and then some honourables. Mr. D, what you got for us?
Right, so this really was a struggle for me in a good way. I found like there was too much to choose from.
I did not have that struggle.
No.
I don't know about you, Phil.
I thought it was better, but yeah.
But I don't know, I've got quite a varied taste
I was going to say,
to you guys.
this could lead us down a couple of pathways to go and listen to some stuff, which is good. I like that when it happens.
So my actual number one, I was actually thinking of...
doing it back to front?
Well, I was thinking of
he's giving us the backstory.
Might be actually parking it, actually. It might not be including it at all, because I think it's going to be your number one. And it's absolutely brilliant album. But... Because you're going to be talking about it, and potentially Jim might mention about it as well. I don't know whether to just let it go.
Let it go. Frozen soundtrack.
Yeah, so it might be a risk.
Your VPN.
It might be a calculated risk, but
or it could blow up in your sweet face.
Yeah.
Are you willing to take that chance?
But basically, if the gamble pays off and Phil announces it, then I think everyone will know what it was. So
okay.
I'm taking this out of the equation as if it didn't exist.
So would it have been your number one?
It would have been my number one. Easily.
Well, I like that.
Okay. So I think you know where we're going here.
There's a big build up,
big gamble here
for what could be.
It's not really
total damn square.
Right. Okay.
So what is your number 3 then?
So my number 3 is the Pointer Sisters.
Ooh,
Breakout.
Straight in there.
Where did you listen to that?
This has come out of nowhere. I like
this
it.
This was so obviously Jump.
Yeah.
You know, where obviously Girls Aloud butchered it, but the original Jump, the Automatic. No way to control it. Get up to the
I thought you meant the band.
No.
What's that coming over the hill? Is it a monster?
Like that song. Was that one this?
Yeah, I Need You, Neutron Dance, and Easy Persuasion. It's like it's 100% total 80s, but it's got a good mix of soul, possibly a bit of like Motown. It's just a really good feel. There's a bit of like there's the odd cheesy bit in there. There's a bit of cheesy love song, but I actually gobbled that sort of shit up. So I'm happy. But generally, it's just
big old thirsty bitch.
But the Automatic is just a great banging song, and going through the Pointer Sisters actually repertoire, the songs that they've got some really good ones as well.
How many sisters were there?
There were 3 sisters.
Oh,
yes, so that's
Nolan's.
Yeah, a bit like.
Them.
So that is my number 3.
Wow, that has come out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I like that.
That is a shocker.
So my
Let's see if he continues.
My number 2, it will be "Let's Dance" by David Bowie.
Wow, I did look at
that. So Modern Love, China Girl, Let's Dance, Shake It, and Without You. Just a really good. I'm a bit sort of. I like best ofs of Bowie generally, and I haven't most of the albums. I'm like a bit like, and even actually one of the Labyrinth soundtracks I actually quite like of his. But this was actually one that I really liked, and just the first 3 songs of this album are Modern Love, China Girl, and Let's Dance. It's a great. That's a pretty good opening to that. So that was me, and just wanted to mix it up a little bit with what I had.
I like that.
But my number 1, which would have been my number 2, but this one come out of nowhere. But I forgot about these people, and this would probably be like people like what the fuck. But it's Aztec Camera.
Oh, I loved a bit of Aztec Camera.
What's the song they sang?
Deep and Wide. Somewhere in My Heart.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere in My Heart. And there's another one, How Men Are. You'll know it if you hear it. It's
What's the rest of the album like? Is it good or?
It's a really sort of like a fun, somewhat like upbeat, sort of, again, a summary sort of tune. Like all these, it's the same when I was listening to the Pointer System. It's a very summary album's upbeat. Because the sun's out, I don't know if that persuaded me.
Possibly. Yeah.
Was it West Ham winning the?
Yeah, it could have been
the cup. This
could have been
like,
West Ham winning the cup.
In a good mood.
I think that must have been.
Drunk,
So,
isn't he, this guy? He's got to do lally.
So maybe anything potentially dark would have sort of blown my sort of
Nope, not in the mood.
Not in the mood. Not doing it.
I'm on a high, and I'm staying on a high.
Yeah. Not doing it, girlfriend. I'm not doing it. One and one. Paradise. It's a very similar. If you like, so like you go west, your level 42s, but it's just got every sort of. It's just there's not a bad song on it. It's very upbeat and it's all got good melody and that. It's not like so with the Bowie one. There's the odd one where I'm just like, oh, okay.
He was still quite arty.
Yeah, some of the songs I'm like, don't know about that. And then, but yeah, that for me was really good. And I've got loads of honourable mentions as well. So I'll
love that, Del.
Yeah,
that is quite a 3. Just remind us of it again. So Pointer Sisters at 3.
Pointer Sisters at 3. David Bowie at 2, and Aztec Camera. At number 1. So
Wow.
it's a really good. Yeah, it's like I say, I'd recommend.
Mucho choice.
Yeah, that's
That has set the cat amongst the pigeons, so to speak. Mr. Reynolds.
It's the 80s all over, isn't it? The
Exactly.
80s all over.
Totally, clearly
He
80s
is really,
albums.
he's hit the nail on the head with the 80s there, hasn't he? What have you got for us then, Mr. Reynolds?
So my number 3,
Here it comes.
I've gone for the
Oh no, really?
Soul Mining.
Oh, I love the.
Yeah,
Is
so
it
it's
really?
the debut album,
Wow.
and this album always, I don't know if you remember it, Del, but it always takes me back to friend of the pod, Chris Smith's garage. We used to play Paul in his garage, and he used to have this album on all the time, and we just it just always reminds of that, and it's a brilliant album. So it's like songs I've been waiting for tomorrow. This is the day is their really famous one.
Sing it for us.
Oh, come on, mate. Go, buddy. But you'll know it. They play it. It's a really. They were like a British pop punk band. Sorry.
Yeah.
But
This
it's
is
like
the
a
debut
medley,
album.
wasn't it? It's a
Yeah.
mishmash of all different art.
But you would know this is Dave. You heard it. I can't even think how it goes. But it is. It is a really good album. This sinking feeling, an uncertain smile, and actually has Jules Holland playing piano on that particular track. But yeah, I reckon you'd like it. The first 5 songs are brilliant. Does go a bit odd after that. I think there's only.
It's a killer special.
Yeah.
I mean, I mocked Michael Jackson's only having 9 songs, but this only does have 9 songs as well. So
Holy moly! How
I've
quickly
gone
he
against my own
forgets.
rules there, but they haven't been
there was a lot of
convicted
that.
or
Kiddie fiddling. Yeah, good point.
To be fair, Bowie's one was quite short, and I think a Eurythmics one I looked at as well. That was
does
short
seem to be a lot of
as well,
80s
so.
albums were like that, weren't they? Very quite short.
Yeah.
Just didn't have any stamina. Them
No
days.
staying power. That's what it is. All their good ideas in the
But
first
yeah, very
5.
good album.
Yeah,
it
no,
does.
sure.
It probably is that nostalgia of taking me back to the early 90s of playing in the garage, Paul and that.
Yeah.
But it is still a good album. The music's brilliant. So
I love
recommend
the.
that.
Nice.
I'll have to check that one out.
And
Many
number
things to
2,
listen to. Many things.
and number 2 is U2's War.
I thought you might have it.
I
Yeah.
thought you
Yeah,
might
so
have
this was my.
It's my number 2 as
That
well,
was
actually.
another short one. That was the other short one as well. Yeah.
This is really good. I mean, we've had Boy and October.
Yes.
But I
This is
remember
their third.
having this on tape when I was younger, and this was the first really good U2.
Yeah, because they go far more political.
Yeah,
in
this
one,
is the
don't they?
political.
when
This is
starts
probably
to-
when they're at their best, when they're
Yeah.
very political. So you had, Alan Partridge straight Sunday, bloody
Yeah,
Sunday,
right.
you were mowing the lawn, and Sunday,
gotta wash the
bloody
car.
Sunday.
So what was obviously Sunday Bloody Sunday's political? What other songs?
New
are-
Year's
New Year's
Day.
Day.
Oh, yeah,
You had Seconds.
Surrender.
Every
It's on
song.
there.
So is it
Yeah,
all-
Surrender.
It's
it's great.
all very about the troubles.
Two
Right,
Hearts
okay.
Beat
Was
as
it
One. That's a
it-
great
Yes.
song. That is 2
40
Hearts Beat
as well
as
was
One.
on there as
Yeah,
well. Yeah,
it's a
good.
really good. Actually, it's the first one where you start to see U2 become the
Go,
band
isn't
that
it?
you know them as
Right.
later on.
Yes.
So are they, in their political sense, are they more pro one side to the other? Are they in this? Does it come across
I
that
think
way?
it's kind of a neutral. It's just telling it how it
just-
is. Kind
Yeah,
of,
that's
you
what
know.
I mean. Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's,
think so.
I thought it was. That's
I
what
don't
I mean.
think they're particularly allegiant. one way
No,
or the
but
other,
yeah, it is actually a really good album. Like I say, I do like Boy and that, but I think we only put them really in because I didn't think the music was good anywhere else. So I kind of put them in.
Yes.
But this is a genuine
choice. Yeah.
could be good.
Yeah, and I still love U2. But
Good album.
I think there's silly stuff where, when I was looking into it, Adam Clayton and The Edge change instruments on one of the songs, and they do that on all their live sort of stuff as well now, so they end up playing different bits. And
it's change trousers.
they also change trousers. And then I also found out that backing vocals on 3 of the songs were done by the Coconuts, as in Kid Creole and the Coconuts back in.
Really?
Because they were touring round Ireland at the time, and they sort of found each other and decided to work together.
Well, fair enough.
Very odd.
But no, it's a good album. I listened to it this week, and it did take me back. So I do remember having this one on tape.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I had War or October. I remember hearing of it, but
It's the one with the boy's face.
Yeah,
young,
it's similar to-
isn't it? Boy.
yeah, it's pretty much the same. But
Is he the same kid? And he's
I
just
think
got
it
older?
must
I
be.
think he is,
It must
isn't
be. It does look exactly the same, isn't it? So,
Yeah, it is a cracking album.
yeah. So yeah, it's very good. But number 1, I don't think it's any surprise to you all. This is where it all starts. This is where the 80s gets fucking interesting.
Is it? It's not the Pointer Sisters then.
It's the debut of REM.
Oh, is it? You mentioned you like them, I think,
Yeah.
once or twice.
Yeah.
Murmur.
Yeah.
Fuck me, this album is great.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
that's
it is.
Instruction.
It is amazing. Yeah.
He's fucking avid. He's amazing. And you look on all the...
I've got no idea.
You look on all the top albums of that year.
I got nothing.
It was either top or it's in the top 10. It's a debut. You look on favourite best debut albums. It's always listed up there. If not the best, it's, just for influence on other bands. It was amazing.
As you can tell, that's what was my number one.
Yeah, he's
So that would have been.
Yeah, it would have been,
You
yeah,
are
easy,
right.
yeah.
it's
So,
such a good.
So the gamble paid
album.
off anyway.
It did.
That's good.
Radio Free. I mean, these songs probably won't because REM weren't that big then, so people probably wouldn't know them. But I do urge people to listen to the 80s REM because it is amazing. It's up there with the 90s.
Are they similar sounding then, or do they still evolve and do their
They're
thing?
still evolved, but they're way ahead of their time. This doesn't sound like anything in 1983.
Right.
At the time. It's got no synthesizers.
It's a bit country, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit country, especially the later albums are. So they were actually paired with a producer called Stephen Hague by IRS, who were their record producers, who had a really big following. He was a big producer. So they worked with Mitch Easter on, do you remember I mentioned Chronic Town? They did an EP.
the little EP, yeah.
They worked with him, but they wanted to get a big producer on to help them. But he wanted to go synthesizers, solo
Off the
guitars.
time, right.
And they kind of sacked him off and went, he's not
this
working
ain't
for
our
us.
sound.
This
Yeah.
is not what we want to do.
Sacked him off.
Yeah, sacked him off.
Wow, it's just very,
Well,
very
And
prevalent.
then
this
so they
year.
asked the IRS to go back to Mitch Easter, who then came in and did the sound they wanted to do. So
Okay.
I kind of like that this is a
Stick to their guns.
this is a
kind of thing.
college band who've done nothing apart from an EP, who would just stick to their guns, or stubborn as hell by the sounds of it. And they are later on in life. You find they pretty much do everything their own way, which is great. And then they wanted to go the route they wanted to go. They were like, no, we're not having synthesizers, we're not having solo guitars.
Hats off.
This is how we want to do it, and this is how we do it. And it's just brilliant. It's full of mysteries. You can't understand whatever Michael Stipe says. And obviously this is before the internet, so he had that
Couldn't
like
look into
mystique
it.
where he's just mumbling a lot, but his voice is brilliant. It's such a good.
I don't know. It's quite a lot. I've got quite a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you do get a lot,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of misinterpretation of what he says. His
like
voice is quite soft and that. He sounds very like Elvis-y as well. He's got like a very like it's very southern as well voice, but
Well,
he's,
like the storytelling in it as well.
yeah,
Like,
his lyrics have always been brilliant.
well, the talk about the passion is like not everyone can carry the weight of the world.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a fantastic. And then what's the one with Perfect Circle?
Perfect Circle. It's a great little piano ballad. I mean, he's like way ahead of its time for music. It's brilliant.
That's it. Yeah, mumbling wise. In Perfect Circle, he says something like "Heaven assumes shoulders."
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Like, I don't. What the
And
fuck?
apparently,
that
it's
means.
about they were playing. They were in I can't remember, on tour somewhere, and there was people. It's about 11 shadows, and they were watching kids playing football, or something like that. So it's all about that. But it is very mysterious, and that's what. But you had Radio Free Europe, Pilgrimage, Talk About the Passion, Perfect Circle, Shaking Through, and it was actually voted Rolling Stones, which were obviously a massive magazine.
knew their
It was
onions.
voted #1 album of 1983, ahead of Thriller, Michael Jackson. So you're talking about college. This is the equivalent of a band coming from Southend, probably.
It's like McFly
and beating
taking on
Ed
the world.
Sheeran
Yeah.
or Beyonce #1 in albums.
Well, I think that's possible with McFly.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, well, just to take any jeopardy off of years to come,
It's also my favourite in 84,
Let me
5,
just say,
6, 7, 8, and
They
9.
release an album every year up to 1988.
Okay, so...
And they're not just throwaway albums, they are fucking classics.
Wowzers.
So, yeah.
Looks like we don't need to put in much thought about what Reynolds is going to have in his top 3 for the next few years.
Yeah, listen to REM 80s. He's brilliant. It is, if not better than
We'll
90s.
do it. He was kind of threatening when he said it, so I'm going to do that.
I know, it did seem aggressive.
Well, it was, wasn't it? But
very
It
much.
was, I mean,
I kind of like it.
have you listened to Murmur before? Did you delve into it this week?
Do you remember? I didn't. Yeah, I delved into it this week, but I knew a lot of the songs anyway. Because do you remember they did the best of REM, just on that compilation of the '80s bit?
Yeah.
And that's where I heard a lot of it. So Document and that I think I had Document, but it just it's probably somewhere about. But yeah, it is really good actually. I like their old stuff.
I shall pop it on when I venture home from this recording.
It is almost like a separate band, the '80s and the '90s and whatever 2000s. Sorry, mate.
That's all right. No, all good. It's an interesting one so far. Not much Duplo, and that's podcast to speak for duplication. Until we get to me. No,
not the big fat Lego bricks.
not the big fat Lego bricks. That's a name for my buttocks.
Okay.
So my top 3, my number 2 is indeed War by U2, but the other 2 are new as well to this discussion. Okay. So my number 3, are you ready? Is True by Spandau Ballet.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't see that. Oh,
I know. So their third album, bit of a move away from the dance music they were kind of trying out.
They were, weren't they?
And they went a bit more soulful and R&B. 2 absolute bangers on the album. Obviously, True, the title track, and Gold on there as well.
Ooh, nice.
There's also Lifeline and Communication were on there as well.
Yeah,
the songs.
I think I know. Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, it was just a nice 80s based album. I quite liked it. I had a bit of a listen this week. I was like, I didn't realise Gary Kemp was writing to, is it Claire Grogan of Altered Images? They were
dating.
They were dating. That's what True was. It was a love letter. Before the dick pic became more prevalent than it deserved to be, they wrote songs for each other.
I suppose
instead,
it's even weirder, a dick pic by post.
Yeah,
Polaroid.
You've got to get the picture sort of done at the boots, bring it back,
You got to
avoid the police,
Write
get
the
a stamp.
envelope. Make sure you don't open.
Yeah, open away from your mum. And then there it is.
Wow.
There's my boy. There's my Duplo. But yeah, that's my number 3. My number 2 is War by U2. Dick pic by post.
Wow.
Which wasn't the name of the album, but
What dick pic
by post. But it's a hell of an album name, isn't it? I think we'll have to release an album.
I'm pretty sure Sex Offenders might have done that. I don't know
I
about
can imagine
Were they a band?
I can imagine
like the Sex Pistols,
the Sex
but the
Offenders.
Sex
I can imagine Tenacious D naming around that. Dick
Dick pic by post. It's a great name. We're going to have to quickly get that
Sex
trademark.
Offenders.
In fact, that's the name of this episode, surely.
There it is.
What, dick
Write
pic by
that down.
post? Oh,
Dick pic by post.
Write that down.
dick pic by post.
And before we're taking off air, I'll tell you my number 1 was Touch by the Eurythmics.
Yes, I
I
was
went
very
down that
close.
way
Again.
because I know you mentioned Eurythmics
Yes.
in your sort of chat. So this was their third album as well. I picked all third albums weirdly on this one, but it was their first one that tops the UK charts. So they released the song "Sweet Dreams" and the album of that. That was in January. So
Yeah, I
they
know,
released
that
2
was
in the
busy,
year.
yeah.
And then they released this one sort of November-y time, I think. But the big songs that you'll probably know are Who's That Girl? Not the Madonna one, but Right By Your Side.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Yeah.
It's
And,
so
Here
different,
Comes
isn't
the
it, to the
Rain
rest
Again.
of the songs on that album.
Yeah, it's a real weird one. So you've got all those kind of classic 80s synth loops and stuff,
Yeah.
and then you've got this
something
weird
like
kind
it's
of...
a bit reggae-ish.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a summer vibes.
Yeah, summer vibes.
There it
very
is.
much
Probably
so.
make it onto your mega mix of this week, Del.
Yeah, no, it would be, mate. Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I listened to the album this week and I was like, actually, that's quite good, and not just those songs, but as a formed
Yeah,
kind of piece.
there were some other really good songs on there, and Here Comes the Rain is quite haunting as well.
Yes, yeah, her voice in of itself
That's
is
amazing,
just amazing. So it's like, yeah, that's an instrument of itself, isn't it? So 3 very good main tunes, and then the rest aren't just filler. It's nice. I like
Oh,
it.
brilliant. No, I like that, mate.
Cool.
Lots to go on there. Any other honourables that came your way, chaps?
Any other one up was Synchronicity, The Police.
That's exactly what I'd written down there as well.
Some good songs on it. It was their last album as well, wasn't it?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, was it with like every step and all that?
Every Breath You Take.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's the one I always get
And,
that fucking wrong.
King of Pain.
Every little step I take. It was a very different sound, wasn't it?
Yeah, Synchronicity 1 and 2, King of Pain, and that. And it was
okay.
It was good. I had a little listen. It was better than. I must admit, the Police, like you said, with David Bowie. I like their best ofs, but their albums have been a bit.
Yeah.
They're good. Few 2 or 3 singles, and the rest. But the fillers are just.
It's becoming apparent that the 80s was kind of a lot of single-based stuff and a few albums that cut through. I thought you might have mentioned Fantastic by Wham.
Oh, no,
was this year as well.
Oh, what was on Fantastic?
I wish I knew, but
okay.
I thought you might have mentioned one because I know you enjoyed a man in a leather jacket and tight pants. So
I love Wham, but
I think it was like Wham rap and all of that kind of.
I don't think it's Wake Me Up yet, was it?
I don't think it was, but
yeah, Wham Rap's it's an interesting one. It's just fun. It's just funny,
a funny thing, isn't it? But
there's some cracking lines in there that go. There's a bit where "Hi George, meet my fiance," and all that. It's really sort of.
I don't think he's bothered.
Oh, Young Guns, is it? Yeah.
Isn't it Bad Boys? Is there one called Bad Boys?
Bad Boy, yeah.
I think you're right actually on that one. Anything else from your honourables?
Yeah, there is, but I just want to go back to my main one. I forgot to mention it at the beginning of the show because this is so ridiculous. But
is this another question?
No, it's not a question. It's more of a tragic statement, if I'm honest with you.
Oh God!
So it's talking about the Pointer Sisters, and today I was actually convinced a fly was dancing in perfect timing to the Automatic. Because it was literally buzzing around in a circle to the beat, and I actually called Claire in, and she just
watch this. It's going to blow your mind. She went,
just shook her head and basically told me didn't tell me to fuck off, but she might have.
Was it like a silent disco though, where you had your AirPods in, so you could hear it, and she's just watching. What the fuck is he?
What is this? Literally on the beat. It was going around in the. It was like flies are dickheads anyway because they come in there and.
I think we might have a new title for the podcast. Flies are dickheads anyway. Well,
no, because they come in and then they know how to get in, but they fucking can't get out. And you can open the doors for them and they're buzzing around. But this one had like proper. It was almost like I think one of the Pointer Sisters has actually passed, so it could have actually been like a reincarnation come back as a fly. But it was like the whole sort of to the.
How long do flies live for?
I don't know. That's a good question, mate. One for Alexa.
Yeah.
Alexa, how long do flies live for?
We keep shouting out for Alexa. There's no Alexa.
Yeah, Barry, how long do flies live for?
So getting back,
we've all got Alexa.
We bring out Barry.
We've got a Barry.
Bring out a new version.
Hey Barry, how long do flies live for?
So sorry, I'll get back into the real world.
Where flies? 30 days.
30 days.
Has she died within 30 days?
Well, yeah, it depends if she managed to get out. If she's like, I might find her dead by the blinds in the morning.
Still dancing to the
to the Automatic.
I was talking about the Pointer Sister. She died within 30 days.
Oh, not the fly. So either way, it's tragic.
This went down a weird path, didn't it?
Sorry,
I liked it.
We've gone back to the manimal.
Manimal, yeah.
Fly. Can add
Fox,
that to it.
Seagull, fly.
Fly, Pointer Sisters.
That's off.
That's the fourth one.
Cyndi Lauper had. I think She's So Unusual. And it was the songs with Girls Just Want to Have Fun and Time After Time were a big
lovely.
hits, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think Girls Just Want to Have Fun is such a lovely sentiment.
Lovely sentiment, indeed it is.
Although potentially could have inspired Joseph Fritzl, because there's a line in it, some boys take a beautiful girl and they hide her away from the rest of the world. So I don't know if...
imagine if that was actually the...
Yeah, so...
The impetus
to blame.
Yeah.
Could be, yeah. So I don't want to throw that out there.
You just did.
Sorry. So,
damn you, Lauper.
There's a couple of ones. I listened to the New Order one. That was good, but it was like one that I'm gonna have to listen for absolutely ages.
Is that with Blue Monday and that?
I can't remember the big one on there, but it was all right. It was decent, but again, you had to be in the right mood, and it's very good.
Yes.
Got good guitar bass.
So I'm guessing that's their debut after obviously Joy Division, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I didn't realise that they were all like it's all Nazi based, isn't it? Like Joy Division and New Order, it's all connected to the Nazis. I'm not saying them.
They loved it.
They loved the Nazis.
They've all got swastikas tattoos, haven't they? So.
Yeah,
I'm saying no. End it. It's going to go bad.
The other Billy Idol had Rebel Yell. He had like Rebel Yell, and there was not Dancing with Myself. Eyes Without a Face.
Okay.
So again, they're quite nice.
Why did you get them two mixed up?
I don't know. It's just
I got the two Billies mixed up. I thought it was going to go Billy Joel because he had An Innocent Man out. This year.
Madonna had a debut album with I think it was Lucky Star, Holiday, and there was Borderline. That's the other one. So yeah,
it sounded very similar to the other one.
So that was good.
Not a Madonna fan until
that was good. Huey Lewis and the News. This is a really surprising
they had a load
album.
of stuff out, didn't they?
This was a really good album, but there was no hits on it. And I just enjoyed it. Again, I don't know if I was just summer vibes. Hey, Richie, summer vibes.
Yeah, they've got that kind of thing going on.
It was just fun. It was like good to listen to. And the same with the Bob Dylan album. I quite like that, Infidels.
Okay.
That was quite decent as well. But I couldn't tell you any hits.
Fucking do, you're busy in our music.
I know, I just absolutely blitzed it, man.
You just listened to R.E.M.
Happy.
That's me for the next 10 years. I'm done.
Yeah, it's definitely number one.
Easy win. Next.
Yeah, so
wow, busy. So we mentioned like the albums and stuff of 1983. What about the singles of 83?
Wow,
Mr. Reynolds, have you got?
You should say that.
Have you got a list for us?
Yes, and it's completely different to our album choices.
Ooh.
But it's not actually. There are a few crossovers.
Go on.
But the first one's not.
In
Number 10.
Do.
All night long.
Lionel Richie.
King of the Biscuits.
Yep.
Mate. He had an album. Also the one with the classic Hello.
Oh yeah, classic video, worst video ever.
But yeah, it is, isn't it?
This is how I see you.
Exactly.
There's something strange going on in the art department.
That sculpture looks nothing like me.
Well, also the other thing is like he calls her up out of the blue, and he almost like a prank caller, and then suddenly he lets it pause, and then he just breaks into
hello,
and it's really fucking weird, isn't it?
It is.
She should have had him sacked.
Yeah.
She'd have done like 141. She could have blocked him or something. Yeah.
So it's essentially he's her teacher.
Yeah.
So why is he with teachers and
abuse
students?
Of power.
So like Sting did it with Don't Stand So Close to Me.
Yeah, and the sculpture she does looks more like Screech out of Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, it does a bit.
Fucking odd, isn't it?
Yeah, it does that. Terry McDermott.
It's like Nick Owen from TVAM. I don't know what's going on. This is how I picture you. What was Nick Owen? Go on, so that was number 10.
Yeah, number 9, Only You, the Flying Pickets.
I love that song.
Great song, isn't it?
Love that song.
Still him in the pub, isn't it? Do you remember the video?
Yes.
They all in the pub just singing it?
Yeah, but it's the most depressing. It looks like the most depressing pub in the world.
Yeah, it's like proper East London pub.
It's like proper, it's going to kick
off.
off.
Half drawn, it's all a bit gloomy.
Snooker cues going to fly past in a minute. That was because
the beer's off.
Was that the same year as Alison Moyet?
Yazoo were knocking around that sort of time.
She did that. And then
she covers that often,
But it always reminds me, is that the one at the office, at the end of the office? When she comes back into into the room, Dawn,
just grabs his hand and they walk out.
It always reminds me of that.
Yeah,
that is great. That scene.
Yeah, it's a good choice of tune actually.
Yeah.
Was it Moyet or the Flying Pickets?
No, I think it's the Flying Pickets one. Isn't it?
Oh, really? Is it?
Do you know what?
I don't know. It might be more dancey because only the Flying Pickets.
I think it's
because they're doing
no music. It's all them, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's Moyet. Yeah, I like Alison Moyet.
It might be the Alison Moyet version. Actually.
Yeah.
Question, we'll have to find that out. That's a good
the only reason I love Alison Moyet's one original, I found it hard with the Flying Pickets because in the video that they look like Undertakers as well. It's just like
they look like Nosferatu.
Yeah, that's
I'm bald then.
if you couldn't see that, obviously, but the impression was absolutely spot on. Spot
tip
on.
top.
Talking about that, Billie Jean, Michael Jackson was number 8.
Ooh.
Speaking of what? What impressions that was spot on.
But to be fair, I mean, I didn't rate thriller, but Billie Jean was a classic.
It's a banger of a tune, isn't it?
So to be number 8, that's a bit odd. That.
Can't argue it.
And, actually to be beaten by Down Under, Men at Work.
To be fair, Down Under's a great.
You can't skip over the fact of that it was lovely because he was in love with the famous tennis player, wasn't he? Michael Jackson, Billie Jean King.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't see.
Yeah, Gods of Tennis is going on this week. I've recorded that.
Oh, really?
That.
She in
She in that.
She in that.
Thinking he wasn't going to get heard. Cheeky sod. That's good. But yeah, Down Under, what a tune that was.
Yeah, Men at Work.
Yeah, that's
number 7.
That is.
Where Grown Man Chunder? Oh, come on.
Mate, what? Yeah, they were one-hit wonders, isn't they?
What's it? So. Vegemite sandwich, wasn't it?
Yeah. She gave me a Vegemite.
Took me a while to figure out what I was going to say then. And then one for Jimmy. Number 6, True Spandau Ballet.
Yes,
Did you have many a slow dance to True?
If only I did.
Yeah, it's a school disco classic, isn't it?
No, I mean, did you just dance really slowly?
Yes, yeah, in the main, yeah. Until I worked out what my feet were doing.
Number 5, now this is a classic. Total Eclipse of the Heart, Bonnie Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
Great video again when they all turn into their eyes light up.
I love that bit. Yeah. Turn around, brighter.
Literally, he's literal.
So someone actually read the
They turn to aliens.
Right, they turn into aliens, and then a choir boy just goes flying. It's really bizarre.
But it's also weird. Like she seems to have almost like she's getting it on with one of the choir boys. It's a bit uncomfortable as well. Yeah.
So the gravel voiced Welsh songstress picks up choir boy with green eyes.
She's huge in the 80s.
Great song though. Number 4, Let's Dance, David Bowie. I'm surprised
Let's Dance.
Modern Love wasn't ahead of that, but yeah, Let's Dance.
I like them 3. Them, like I say, them 3. That's
a number 3, fucking shit song. Red Wine, UB40.
Excuse me. What now?
Awful song.
Richie Dello, can you tell him how it's properly said?
Heg, wah.
Thank you.
After Jimmy Boy.
They were just a cover band, weren't they, UB40?
He weren't having it, was he?
So because that was a cover song, wasn't it? It wasn't their original song.
To be fair, they did a lot of them, but the actual original
I think
ones
every song of theirs was a cover, wasn't it?
No, they did like Rat in the Kitchen and that. There's a few that they did. Rat in the Kitchen's amazing.
Oh, yeah, they weren't great.
It's just fucking, what's it about?
Terrible health and safety code violations, obviously, but yeah.
Gonna fix that.
Classic now coming up, number 2.
Hang on, so you don't like Red Wine, but you do like
Uptown Girl, Billy Joel. Come on.
Oh yeah,
got to love that.
True.
It'd be criminal not to.
God damn it,
criminal not to like Billy Joel's Uptown Girl.
Smooth criminal.
Yeah, well, that's 87, maybe 88. Is that?
I can imagine you dressed as a mechanic recreating that video.
To be Billy Joel.
Yeah, but Westlife did it better,
Did he marry Did he marry the actress in that?
Yeah, who was
Christy Brinkley.
Yeah, who was in National Lampoons.
Yes.
There you go.
All comes back, doesn't it? Bloody obsessed.
In American History X.
Oh yeah.
And number 1 song. Come on.
Can't give you a clue.
Come on, Chameleon. Culture Club.
Carmen Eileen.
Come on.
I'm getting the years wrong again now. It's 82. So yeah, Come a Chameleon, number 1.
Yeah, that was a great song.
That was huge, wasn't it? That was
again
huge.
that album. Again, that's the only
tune of
the only song about probably Culture Club fans are going nuts right now.
Personally, I'd have Uptown Girl over that though.
I don't know. I like Karma Chameleon.
I do, but if it comes to a
straight sing off,
a DJ disco, Uptown Girl's getting me on the dance floor.
The lyrics are a bit bizarre. Then, it's like saying about a Karma Chameleon, and then my dreams are red, gold, and
green.
Isn't it all about?
What's it all about?
Is it about,
come on, tell us.
Kitchen fitting.
Isn't it about isn't it like an African country or something? Isn't it about that or something?
I was going to say, it sounds like the Rastafarian.
Yeah, isn't it? It's something to do with that. Because I'm sure they have the videos, then all good the flags or say, isn't it?
Possibly so, but we could.
No, they're on like a steamboat.
That's why I was like careful. Is it about that?
He said very confidently, "I know what it's all about," and then didn't know what it was all about. So we should have left him to.
I just assumed it was about karma because it's a karma.
And I thought it was about chameleons.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
I mean, you can forgive us, listeners, but maybe
Phil
Reynolds.
I thought it was Jeffrey Dahmer.
Dharma,
serial killer.
chameleon.
Dharma chameleon. Doing stand-up, so he was a Dharma comedian.
Maybe he was an angry chameleon, but then he went through some kind of self-help magazines and stuff, and he became a karma chameleon.
Became karma.
Fucking hell, I'm so sorry. Right, that was appalling. Let's wrap up the music.
Karma Lama down. Karma Lama down.
He was fucking angry, and then he became a karma chameleon. Fuck a duck.
Karma duck.
Oh, we've reached the limit. I think 7 coffees has done me. Right, chaps, we have nearly reached the end of another episode. But before I release you back to the safety and security of your families, I want you to answer me some letters and emails.
A little bit of funk to it, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's 1983 now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting very funky in this this day and age. So let's take a look at what the lunatics, my apologies, the listeners, have been writing in. Holy crap. Auntie Bacteria has got my attention. She says, yesterday I fucked my uncle. Sorry, I mean ankle. What's the worst injury that you've ever seen or had yourself? So, given that you guys have played quite a bit of sport in your time, I imagine you've seen some pretty grim things. Anything spring to mind, you two?
Plucky's Achilles was quite gross, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I wasn't playing.
So was that one of those ones where it kind of just ricocheted all the way and the leg goes completely...
It's like a proper sort of like
It's under
gunshot's
tension,
gone
isn't
off
it?
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was not attached.
The leg
to it,
just
like
flaps
around.
and
The
sort of
goalkeeper, do you remember the goalkeeper who dived on his thumb?
Yeah.
And then, it's all
Forced
like-
it out the wrong way and stuff. Oh, anything that
I
breaks
thought it
the
was going to
skin.
follow the lady who dived. There was a goalkeeper who dived on his plum.
So obviously I hurt one of our guests, Gav Plucknett, in playing football.
Well, also, do you remember yourself with the Mr. Hardiman incident?
Well,
down the
indeed,
church?
there have been some. Well, let's be honest. I've hurt myself twice quite badly. Once at school,
Yeah.
courtesy of friend of the pods, Mr. Hardiman, and once in a graveyard, courtesy of Mr. Hardiman. Yes, so I've smashed.
Is he
smashed
trying to
my
kill
front,
you off?
I've smashed my front teeth in and broken the only bone in my body that I've broken. I
That's
think.
weird. What was you to do
My
in
arm.
wrestling? Was you?
Which one?
the
The graveyard.
the graveyard one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was on. It was a cut through from the pub, wasn't it? So we had quite a few jars in a local brewery, and to shave maybe 11 seconds off our walk home, we cut through a graveyard. Decided that wrestling was the best thing. So
Obviously.
as we were monkeying around, I fell. Was
Pushed or tripped?
Well, I'll let you be the judge of that, Phil, but I didn't fall unaided. And I was laughing, so my mouth was open and my front teeth hit a gravestone and
So mid-fall, you was laughing.
exploded. Is that? Or maybe I was shouting, "Fuck it
Fuck it
up!"
up. Oh, mate.
And then my teeth hit a gravestone and kind of exploded, leaving the nerves
That's
exposed.
the sentence you don't say too many days.
You don't really, do you? Not often.
My teeth
But yeah,
hit-
that was.
Have
that
an
was a-
image of you falling laugh.
That was painful, man, because I was walking all the way home, just like cursing his name.
Yeah.
But every breath I took in, the exposed nerves were like sending pain through me that I'd never
God.
experienced.
Yeah, it's
but yeah, I
horrible.
still decided that smoking was a good idea at that point. So every breath I took in,
Oh, God.
I was like, oh, sweet
my
nicotine.
God.
But shit, fucking hell, that really hurts.
I've had that before.
yeah.
Them exposed nerves, they're horrible.
Fairly grim. Yeah, I was like that all weekend because I couldn't get seen until the Monday.
I became.
I became. Here we go. Strap yourselves in,
I
everybody.
became a
This could be-
volunteer.
No, I became a leg breaker.
Hello.
Yeah, I broke someone's leg playing football. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was quite
Leg breaker Reynolds here.
Leg breaker Reynolds. Now you're not what they might call
Vinnie Reynolds.
a stocky muscle bound player.
and I think I only got yellow
card.
carded once in my whole 20 odd years. So I wasn't a
gentleman.
dirty
Like
player.
Gary
Gentleman of football.
And this wasn't
yeah.
a dirty challenge, I must admit. The ball was there. It was a bit like Rocky and Apollo. I went to shoot. He went to.
tight shorts.
Yeah.
With a crop top.
One of you was a black guy. One of you was a middle-aged
So
Italian.
the ball just fell, just stopped in the middle. I went to shoot. He went to defend, obviously. We both hit the ball, so we didn't hit each other. I went bang, bang.
Oh,
At the
okay.
same time, I remember stumbling over and
your shins were
I
solid.
got up and his shin was round the other side of his foot, literally. And I was like, it was disgusting.
It sounded like Tim Allen, didn't it?
It was round the front of his foot, pretty much.
He might need a magic sponge. Let's give him 5 minutes, see if he can run that off.
It wasn't a dirty. But it's weird how it does affect you. I was like really affected after that.
Yeah. Is that why you didn't put another challenge in for the rest
I didn't get a hat trick that game. I only got 2.
Only the 2.
Yeah.
Just a brace for Reynolds. It was a slow down the office.
I was really pissed off when I got
kicked the cat, broke my foot. Any things that you can remember aside from those, Dale?
I was going to say, are we allowed? This is not my story, but I've heard of it. Is that?
Oh,
yeah.
I mean,
so my brother-in-law's one of his best mates actually snapped his penis.
so why would we not allow that?
But this was like the first time he met his like future like mother and father-in-law. And so,
hang on, he met his father-in-law breaking his penis.
Yeah, so I missed a bit of the story out.
He was having a massive amount of sex with his father-in-law to be, and broke his cock up in him.
Just snapped it like it's made out of, I don't know, like a
plate. Okay, take us all the way back then.
So basically, he was having sex with his fiancée, girlfriend, whatever at the time, and it was the first time. So they drove down to their where their parents lived.
So it's the first time they've had sex together.
Not the first time they had sex together, but the first time they had sex in their mum and dad's house.
Right.
So they live up here, sort of thing. And
is that an anniversary they have?
Wow,
every 10 years.
What kind of a card do you buy for that?
10 years since we had sex.
10 years since I snapped your banjo.
Oh god, yeah. So not the banjo, the whole thing, like
the whole damn thing.
So like, because it's obviously it's like it's lot of blood because the blood going there.
Yeah.
It's quite a serious thing, and yeah.
Holy
so when I was having obviously a bit of rumpy pumpy.
Yeah, someone's doing it.
So a hole is snapped off.
Yeah, it's snapped. So
inside that.
I love that.
Like,
it didn't snap off inside.
No, I don't. It's like the muscle breaks. It's like a tear thing sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's it's not the best. But he was actually dragged out in an ambulance with ambulance guys like with their hands over his piece while his father-in-law's.
Yeah. What happened?
Was there blood everywhere?
Scrabble.
I don't know. I like it's from Mark told me. I don't know the actual. Yeah. So I don't know the full story.
That is.
Hang on.
So I guess.
Who was it then?
I can't tell you
names.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna.
I wasn't even thinking.
I love that Phil's now trying to work it out. Hang on, so that's Mark was mentioned.
I wasn't even thinking, Mark. I was thinking.
Holy moly!
I don't know what I was thinking, but when you said that, I was thinking.
Well, we'll try and get the answer out of him.
Billy Joel
off mic. But that is quite. I don't think anything's going to top that, right?
No.
A broken old chap.
Snap penis, yeah. So
shit.
I've heard the banjos and that, but all of it.
Cringe, doesn't it?
That is.
Oh.
Everyone in the room has just crossed their legs. That's all we're saying. That is unpleasant. Right, let's move on. Antibacteria, you've given me nightmares for the next week with that question. Thank you, darling. Right, let's move on to Dan Japan Hands. He says, if you were a solo singer, what would your sort of stage name and album be called? Now, obviously, Pit Whitehouse.
Pit Whitehouse, yeah.
Was that too easy? Is that too obvious?
So what are the albums and EPs that you've come up with so far?
Lock-a-doodle-doo. I can't remember what the one I said earlier.
Market's closed, and then Dick Pic by Post.
Is that the one? Yeah, Dick Pic.
That was the one we mentioned.
Yeah, Dick Pic by. Yeah, that was it. That's my third album.
That's going to be it. Yeah.
So sandwiched in between that was a travesty.
So Lock-a-Doodle, a travesty.
Yeah. I was like being kind of like ironic,
introspective, and
like difficult second album. So I was getting ahead of the game, thinking I know what them fucking critics are like. They'll call this a travesty.
So I'm
going to call it a travesty.
Very clever, very clever.
It's a bit of a fuck you to the critics.
Yeah.
And it worked. I got 5 stars.
And it came back
across the board.
Came back with your next big release, Dick Pic by Post.
Again, it was getting ahead of the game. I knew what the media was like at that time, and it was all sex filled and
all sex.
I thought I'd get ahead of the game. They hated me for that because they couldn't.
Well, it turns out going through all of our films and music, you're at least a year ahead of your
exactly.
time, aren't you?
Yeah, so I'm a bit. I'd say like I'm a bit of a time traveller. So like,
we might choose a different word. I
It's
don't know.
like you said interviewing Phil for like a dating agency.
I might say I'm like a time traveller. Some say Lothario, a lover, maybe an artist. But yeah, time traveller probably sums it all up. Yeah,
I'll take brunettes.
I'm just looking for someone fun, honest. I like long walks in the park, and manimal. Fun
Yeah,
That's quite a good question, actually. What would be your dating profile? That's a good one. I like
It'd
that.
have to be the cringy, embarrassing name I used to, alter ego I used to call myself.
So this is for your solo album, solo artist.
When I used to try and chat up girls a long time ago. So.
You want to talk us through that, Dale?
Yeah, I used to pretend I was Italian, and it
See?
was obviously like Ricci da Latino.
Hey!
That's
Who did you do this on?
girls I was trying to like impress, like chat up, and obviously,
Put it this way, Phil. No one that he's married to.
obviously, it's a fucking bird brain idea.
Well, like in pubs or like clubs and.
No, not in pubs. That'd be a bit somewhere a bit noisier because sometimes the question,
Because your accent wasn't
dip,
spot on.
It was dip, yeah.
It dipped in and out a bit.
And most of the time, I didn't get to pass stuff, like a few sentences anyway. Before I was like, "What the fuck?" So I turned into like I don't know, fucking Tony Farino or some shit.
Oh, that's lovely.
But yeah, and the album, sorry, would obviously be Italian Nights. So.
Italian Nights. Oh, that's got a certain
Italian Nights.
je ne sais quoi about it.
What about yourself, Jim?
See, this is tricky. Now I know what my cafe would be called, but I don't obviously know what my solo name would be called. That would be Eggs and Bacon.
Eggs and Bacon, which is
as we know. Thank you. I might call myself the Gigantic German or something of that, but it sounds a bit restless. But yeah,
sounds quite camp.
It does sound a little bit camp, but you know that's the persona I'd be going for. A lot of sequins.
Sounds a bit big-headed, if you ask me.
Now that's for you to argue, isn't it? I'm just saying I'm quite tall.
Yeah.
Or am I gigantic?
Doesn't sound
in
humbling.
German? No, I'm not what you'd call a humble artist.
I'm trying to imagine you in a Big Daddy leotard.
The Savaloy stuff down there.
No need for that. Getting away all the socks, wouldn't it?
More chorizo.
Yeah. This is the Bockwurst. And that's what the album's called. Mind the Bockwurst.
Mind the Bockwurst.
Yeah, something like that. My Bockwurst is clockwork.
Bockwurst
This
orange.
is
There it bloody is. See, I knew if we kicked it around long enough, it'd come out Bockwurst orange. That is a lovely effort. Write that down. So many good titles for the podcast this week. There we go, Dan. Three great artists to check out on Spotify. 3 wonderful albums as well by Pip Whitehouse. 2 shockers by us two. All right, we move from Dan Japan Hands to Reg Hammer, who says, if sweets were made illegal, which were the ones that you would possibly break the law for? So what
Any
would make
sweet.
you... So we did chocolate bars last week, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we did.
This is on to confectionery, sweets, kind of...
Red licorice.
Red licorice, straight away.
I love red licorice.
So we're talking like laces, boot laces.
Yeah, I don't mind them, but it's more of the
Do you mean the cough?
tubey.
Cough twists, aniseed twists.
Yeah, more than, but I don't know how to explain it.
Well, try, use words.
Red licorice. It's more like that, yeah, but it's, I love that kind of stuff, yeah. I don't like black licorice, I like red licorice. So.
Oh,
Whereas you
racist
mentioned
licorice.
Blackjack's early, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I'm not.
All
All about that. When they were half p.
I was the fruit
fine.
salads.
Oh, okay. He's a racist sweet eater.
Totally.
That's what it is. He's blown out blackjacks, but he's all
How
about
many
the
was
fruit
it we had to
salads.
do? 3?
Three what?
3 sweets, or was it just the 1? Oh, yeah, probably.
But if you've got a top 3,
it would
then
be
give
red
it to us.
licorice or love hearts. Oh, yeah, love hearts.
Right, you'd be willing to do like jail time for a packet of love hearts, just in case it
Possibly.
goes wrong.
Do love hearts.
Wow.
But the old love hearts one actually had loving in the meaning. Now they
What do
have
they
like,
have now? Are they like emojis or something?
yeah,
now?
have like emojis
That's just
and to
symbols.
say
and
like
stuff.
you until you're sweet, and no, I like to be like fuck
Straight in.
fuck me tongue me.
Oh,
I don't think they ever said that, did they? They weren't love hearts after all. They were
Tip me up.
Yeah. Messages from
Like the Quentin Tarantino character out of From Dusk Till Dawn, where he hears what he wants to. I used to read them.
Unbelievable.
Nosh me off.
Finger that. Lovely stuff. Richie D, save us from this. I can't believe I'm turning to you and saying the word save us from this weirdness.
Save us.
But save us from this. What sweets would you break the law for, my man?
You see, I'm a big sort of sour. I love a good sour.
Yes.
But I think I'd find it hard to break the law for that. So it's a little notch down. And I love a fruit pastel.
Oh, yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, simple as that, just fruit pastel.
Well, so that's your one you would break the law for?
I would break the law for that, yeah, because I could never go through my life thinking I could never taste the pastel again.
What's your favourite colour?
It's like you're 4 years old. We're like nurseries.
He does go straight over. These ones are fizzy. You're basically like the Haribo advert where you two are like those stupid cops, aren't they? I'm a little princess and I enjoy everything.
With only just a slightly deeper voice.
Yeah.
My favourite colour is green.
Like the green one.
I think the red's for me.
Red. Okay.
Oh, you are obsessed with red, aren't you?
Oh, actually, no,
red licorice.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm going anti sweet racism. I'm going black. No,
Go for the black ones, yeah.
Yeah, well, they did do like their own just black versions, didn't they?
Yeah. No, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, a bit like
they brought out the only black.
Well, a bit like the
colour
purples
ones,
in
the
the Equality
purples.
Streets.
Yeah, it's all about equality, wasn't it?
All about
Just get it.
Equality Street. Someone should really write a song about that, shouldn't they?
Equality.
Touche. Nice. I like
What's
that.
yours?
Whereas I actually think I probably would maybe serve time for like cherry cola bottles.
Oh,
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, the beer sweets. Remember the beer sweets?
Not as keen because they were just chewy, weren't they? Whereas
Oh,
a
nice.
fizzy cola bottle, fizzy cherry cola bottle, it's got everything,
yeah,
sugar on it,
yeah, I
plus
like
the tartness,
Like the tang.
the whole schmozzle. Yeah, I think I'd probably
good hit.
serve time for that. There we go. We like that. Good question. On to another good question from Indiana Smith Marbles, who says, I don't know if that's how you pronounce your name properly, Indiana, but here we go. Says, who or what would you most like to be reincarnated into? So we're doing all the big questions, post-death, reincarnation, and sweets. We'd serve
Could it
time
be
for.
any period of time, or does it have to be like
It says who
in
or
the
what, so it
timeline
can
with
be
us?
absolutely anything. If you want to be reincarnated
I
to
don't want to be reincarnated.
cockroach from the Middle Ages, then you go for it. That is a thinker, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I need an answer within 8 seconds because that's what podcasting demands.
I'd say like Lee Harvey Oswald.
And I should have given him maybe an extra 3 seconds, I think. Now, I don't know about why would you want to be reincarnated as Lee Harvey Oswald?
Because I think I could get away with it. And it'd be a challenge.
So let me just get this right. You'd still murder the president.
It'd be a challenge. Because
If you want to do a challenge, do a 1,000-piece
No, so it's a bit like
jigsaw puzzle.
I'm doing it as quantum leap. So I'm Sam.
Right.
And I've leaped
You
into
jump into the body of Lee
like
Harvey.
seconds after I've shot. So I haven't actually shot it. But
okay.
my mission by Ziggy is to get out
still
of
have to
the
get him.
book depository
Yeah.
without the police catching me.
Yeah.
And get through Dallas. And
What,
basically,
all the series?
basically survive
Yeah.
past the point where Jack Ruby would shoot me.
Okay.
And then
that
then I'll jump
changes
back.
history.
I
And,
just think that'd be a great challenge.
wow. Some people have said like Hunted on Channel 4 is a challenge, but you've
Yeah,
got
that's
Do you
quite.
know
that is
what?
a
Similar
I
thing,
would love to
similar
do that as
vibes.
well. So I think that's a 60s version of that.
Basically, you just want to be hunted by the police.
Yeah,
for a
but this
bit.
would be more Jeopardy because
Yeah.
they
That's
are
a very
literally
different
after
quiz.
me.
Very different
Could
quiz,
be
that one.
Pip White House's first film when he comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Hunted by the police.
Yeah.
Do a crossover.
So like Sting and
like
all the
Sting
rest
and
of
all,
them
yeah.
come out and
Phil
just
Collins and Buster.
hunting him down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being chased through Dallas by Sting.
Yeah. Singing like Every Breath You Take.
I'll be watching you. Oh, shit, it's got confused.
Yeah. And then I'll sing back to him like, don't stand so close to me as he's going to catch me.
Nice.
But no, yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald, I think.
Where are you going? I'll send you a message in a bottle.
Yeah.
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 Lovely.
Walking on the Moon.
We're just naming songs, aren't we? Okay, so you would become the reincarnation of Lee Harvey Oswald. Del, anything slightly less sinister in your locker?
Yeah, see, I'm only getting boring ones like come back as a bird or something like that.
Just
or come
something
back
completely
as
different.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just octopus.
Are you doing that because
and-
what you'd want to know whether they do actually have some form of cognitive thought and memory and stuff, or do you just want to be able to?
Well, yeah, no,
soar on
just-
thermals.
Yeah, bit of a fly,
Bit of a fly.
a nice little fly.
Nice.
Yeah, I think. Other than that, I can't. Maybe no, I can't go there actually.
Oh, he took Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah,
It's the only one that keeps going through my head now.
yeah. No, maybe a BG.
Wow. Now, everyone's going to go for Barry, but I reckon he'd go slightly more obscure. I think.
Morris.
Yeah.
Who's the one with the hat? Is that Morris?
Morris, yeah.
Yeah,
think you
go.
might go
Yeah,
Morris.
go Mount Morris. Yeah.
No one wants to go Robin.
Oh,
No,
no, Robbie
yeah,
was
you don't-
No,
Yeah,
you've been
Robin
a bird
did.
already, so you don't want
Oh, yeah.
lovely. I believe the noises, but you went with.
I went for a session drummer.
You just get the snare going for like 10 minutes.
What about you, Jim? What did you?
I would like to know what it feels like to kind of not reach the absolute pinnacle of achievement, but I want to be Colin Jackson breaking the British record in hurdles. That's where I'm going. That's what I want to do. Just the British record. I don't want to be too.
Don't want to go too crazy.
I don't want to be a gigantic.
When did he do
Well, he
that?
got gold as well,
92?
didn't he?
He was big through the early 90s through to the late 90s.
Yeah, he's like
But he always did stuff with a smile on his face.
Yeah, like
He
a
did,
weird
didn't he?
Welsh accent. Though. It didn't seem
Because
like
he's from Wales.
Because he was, yeah,
no, but it didn't seem like it sounded like it come from him.
he didn't. He
No, but he just
was
didn't-
completely mute, wasn't he? But he just had a little voice recording of
He didn't look.
Got Frank Ozzy's voice.
It was just odd. It was like
hurdle. I will.
you know,
That
you
was his
just
voice, wasn't
expect a different voice or something. I always, he used to freak me out. I just used to watch him.
What
and
did you
I'd go,
expect
I
then?
don't know. Just like, yeah, I won. Yeah, man.
Because he was spaced out. Like,
Supposed to hippie.
yeah, hippie.
But he just,
Wow,
I
man,
don't
I've
know.
done some hurdles and shit. It's really, really heavy.
Super.
His accent,
Far
Like
out.
that Neil for the young
Cosmic.
ones.
his accent used to surprise me.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
As your
But he was a good
answers,
hurdler.
as all of your answers have thus far this evening, so I'll level with you. Well, there we go. Interesting set of questions thus far. Let's do one more, and then we can release you into the wild. This final one comes from Damien Killian from the High Road, also a local listener. He says, if heaven exists, what do you think that God's first words to you will be?
Or when we get there.
When you get to the pearly gates, you get past Peter, whatever his name is, you walk in and he goes, all right, Phil. What does he say to you? Can't believe you shot Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, it could be. This could be linked actually, because it could be that.
Could be.
Because obviously you got two versions of me. You got
Can't-
Lee Harvey Oswald,
Or-
and now me.
Can't believe you got away with it.
Now we could.
If it wasn't for those pesky kids.
Is he Australian? God.
Yeah. It's a woman.
Like, yeah,
An Australian woman.
that's Sue.
Yeah, that's what they call her.
Sue the kangaroo.
Was she Dr. Figgy's wife? Was it Sue?
Dr. Figgy's wife.
Our neighbours.
Oh, Carl Kennedy.
yeah.
Susan.
Yeah,
Susan
yeah.
Kennedy. You think Susan Kennedy is God? I mean, we can't argue
Wow,
to say
that's-
no,
that's
but,
impressive.
you know, unless
I could
there's
see her
proof.
as that.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
she's
quite like
taken
that.
over from Morgan Freeman. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
It's the next.
That would be a very
next-
different
That'd
film,
be
wouldn't
the
it?
There would be. Yeah. It really would.
Hello.
Susan Kennedy. is
Susan
God.
Kennedy standing there. All right. You've been a naughty boy, haven't you? Yeah. So what would Susan say to you?
I don't know. What would she say to me? But she's been let down by Cole Kennedy a lot. He shags a lot of younger women, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think she might want to
But
take...
being God, she'd be all
yeah, but I
like,
think she'd want to take
all
comfort in
powerful
me.
and omnipotent.
I think she'd want me to like be a little buddy with her. So she'd just be like, come here. Give me a little cuddle. I think embrace me.
Yeah, God would embrace. Okay,
straight away.
that's-
Hello, Phil.
that's-
Come
it's
here.
good to hear.
Give us a cuddle.
Give us a cuddle, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a nice. That's a nice
She's been
way
watching
to be.
me and I think she knows I give good cuddles. And
This is she's going down a path. Okay.
and she'd be like that, yeah.
Yeah, come here,
What?
Phil. Give us a cuddle.
Yeah.
All right. No, that
I can
seems
see by the way you're cuddling
that
yourself
seems
in a minute.
reasonable,
Phil.
yeah.
Yes, I can
very
see you
defensive,
good
though. Very
yeah.
defensive posture. Dale, what about you? What do you think? Is Susan Kennedy also your version of God, or
No, I'd like to have Shabba Ranks.
Shabba Ranks? Okay, massive misogynist and homophobe Shabba Ranks greets you at the pearly gates and says, "What, Dale? Come here, gives a cuddle, batty boy." No.
What the fucking hell goes through your brain, boy?
Probably a fair question.
In that accent, I want Shabba Ranks.
In that accent,
Let's say that in that
fucking
accent.
muggins. What are you doing sometimes?
I think Shabba at the end.
And then obviously a
There you go.
Shabba. Yeah, that's nice.
Says that after every sentence.
Yeah.
Like a full stop.
It's like Roger.
Shabba. I like that. Very different versions of God.
What's yours?
Bloody hell. Again, I should use this time of thinking time rather than just listening to the nonsense that you two come up with, and then I find myself drifting away. Well, I think we all know that Cesc Fabregas is in fact God.
Ooh, okay.
So he would greet me at the gates and just go, "Hey, ¿cómo está?"
Oh, so
Just speaks to me in Spanish. I haven't got a clue what he says, so I just walk straight on past, thereby blowing my
your favourite
chance.
player ever?
For a long while, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was just a different gravy.
Cesc Fabulous.
Cesc Fabulous.
But like of all time,
like
without being biased, you're an Arsenal fan. He was an Arsenal player.
Yeah.
You're saying he was better than any other player in the world at that time.
no, I said he was my favourite player.
Oh, right. So it wasn't.
It's a very different thing.
You know, like you said
the
to me
same
about
way
my favourite colour.
Yeah, you'd have like a West Ham player, presumably.
As a favourite, yeah.
As a favourite, yeah, but not the best player. No, I'm not that blind by my allegiance.
Yeah.
Would you get a life-size tattoo of his face on your chest, Jim?
Already got it, Dale.
I mean-
That's why I always make sure I wear this ill-fitting off-the-shoulder number, just so one of his eyes can poke out and sort of wink at you whilst we're recording. There we go. Well, I would suggest that was an interesting and varied...
Would you turn up at the gates naked, though, and see the tattoo of himself on you? Because that would be a bit
I wouldn't
odd.
have to be naked.
Wow.
It's only on my chest.
Yeah.
I'm allowed a bit of dignity. I'll probably pop a short on, you know.
I want you naked.
And that's why I'm not ending up in the same place as you, I think.
It's nudist camp.
It's a nudist camp just outside of Hemsby. Yeah, I don't know where we're going anymore. Right, so that is the wrap up and the end of our dip this week into letters and emails.
A little less jazzy, but jazzy still.
Slightly sexier. That's where I
Very
went.
loungy. East.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Esque. That's one.
Right, pop that there. That there. Fucking hell. So weird. Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. The first thing that came into his brain, the guy that murdered a president. It's a weird world you inhabit sometimes, isn't it, after 6 beers?
Yeah.
And just like that, it's over for another episode. That is the mighty 1983, brought very successfully to its knees. Well done, chaps. Now, Blankers, we are off for a bag of chips and a can of Top Deck, but we're going to be back with you all again very soon. Remember that you can check out the 80s Spotify playlist, because that will have been updated with our music picks from this past year. So check that out and let us know on the socials what tunes you might have included. We do love a heated debate. But until we meet again, any last words, gentlemen?
No. See you next week.
That's a lovely way to do it.
Stay
but
safe.
Stay safe is also a lovely way, but I've got
It's
a feeling
jungle out there.
our learned colleague might have something just as prevalent.
Just got some breaking news in my earpiece. Apparently, Judi Dench has been tested positive for anabolic steroids.
Bye-bye, Blankers.